A few hours. Sometimes that's all it takes to change the course of human history. A king falls from his horse. A commander makes a single mistake. A small army refuses to retreat. And suddenly, empires rise, civilizations collapse, religions spread, borders shift, and the future of billions is rewritten. The world you live in today exists because certain battles ended one way instead of another. But what if they hadn't? What if a Persian king had conquered Greece? What if Rome had been destroyed? What if Europe had fallen to a different empire? What if a storm had never arrived? Tonight, we're traveling across more than 2,000 years of warfare to uncover the battles that changed history forever. Some lasted days, some lasted hours, but every one of them altered the fate of humanity. And by the end of this journey, you'll discover how astonishingly fragile history really is. Because everything could have turned out differently, history often feels inevitable. Looking backward, it can seem as though great empires were destined to rise and destined to fall. But history is not a straight road, that it's a maze of crossroads at certain moments. Entire civilizations balanced on a knife's edge. The outcome depended on exhausted soldiers standing in mud, on generals making decisions under impossible pressure, on weather, luck, fear, courage, and chance. Many of these moments unfolded on battlefields, places where thousands fought, died, and unknowingly decided the future. The languages we speak, the countries we live in, the religions we follow, the technologies we use, even the maps hanging on classroom walls, all were shaped by battles whose outcomes could have gone another way. Tonight, we travel from the ancient world to the modern age, from dusty plains and mountain passes to stormy seas and shattered cities. This is the story of the battles that changed history, and our journey begins with a tiny force standing against one of the largest armies the world had ever seen. The year is 480 BC. The Persian Empire stretches across vast territories. Its ruler, the mighty Persian King Xerxes, commands perhaps the greatest military force on earth. His goal is simple: conquer Greece. The Greek city-states are divided. Many believe resistance is hopeless. Then comes a decision that will become legend. A narrow coastal pass called Thermopylae. Here, a small Greek force prepares to make a stand. Among them are 300 Spartan warriors led by King Leonidas. Behind them lies the future of Greece. Ahead of them stands a seemingly unstoppable empire. For days, wave after wave of Persian troops crashes against the Greek line. The narrow terrain neutralizes Persia's numerical advantage. The Spartans and their allies hold. Eventually, betrayal reveals a hidden route around the defenders. Leonidas knows the battle is lost, yet he stays. His final stand becomes one of the most famous acts of resistance in history. Militarily, Thermopylae was a Persian victory, but psychologically, it became a Greek victory. The stand inspired Greece. It proved the Persian Empire could be resisted. Soon, the Greeks would fight again, and the future of Western civilization would hang in the balance. Because if Greece had fallen completely, philosophy, democracy, science, and much of the cultural foundation of the modern West might have evolved very differently. The story of history had narrowly avoided a different path. But another battle would soon place an even greater empire at risk. An empire called Rome. 216 BC. The Roman Republic is expanding rapidly. Yet one man threatens everything. His name is Hannibal, a military genius from Carthage. Years earlier, he had done the impossible, leading an army and war elephants across the Alps. Now he stands deep inside Roman territory. The Romans are furious, determined to crush him once and for all. Near the village of Cannae, one of history's greatest military disasters unfolds. Nearly 90,000 Roman troops advance. Hannibal commands far fewer. The Romans expect easy victory. Instead, they walk into a masterpiece of strategy. Hannibal deliberately weakens his center. Roman forces push forward. Then the trap closes. Carthaginian cavalry attacks from behind. Roman soldiers become trapped, compressed, unable to move, unable to escape. Thousands die where they stand. The slaughter continues for hours. By sunset, tens of thousands of Romans are dead. Entire generations of Roman leadership vanish in a single day. Rome teeters on the edge of collapse. Many allies abandon the Republic. The future looks bleak, yet Rome refuses to surrender. Against all odds, it rebuilds, eventually defeating Hannibal and emerging stronger than before. Had Rome broken after Cannae, the Roman Empire might never have existed. The history of Europe, law, language, engineering, and government would have been profoundly different. One battlefield nearly erased the civilization that would dominate the ancient world. Yet centuries later, another battle would determine who ruled that world. 312 AD. The Roman Empire is divided. Rival emperors compete for power. One of them is Constantine. Before a decisive battle near Rome, a story emerges that will echo across centuries. According to later accounts, Constantine sees a symbol in the sky, a sign connected to Christianity. The next day, his forces march into battle. The clash at the Milvian Bridge is fierce. When it ends, Constantine stands victorious. Soon afterward, Christianity gains imperial support. What began as a persecuted faith transforms into one of the world's dominant religions. The consequences are staggering. Empires, kingdoms, art, culture, education, politics, and global history will all be influenced by this turning point. A single battlefield helps alter the religious future of billions. And yet an even greater transformation was still to come. A battle that would save Europe from destruction. Islamic armies have expanded rapidly. Their victories have been extraordinary. Many wonder how far they can go. Deep in what is now France, a Frankish leader named Charles Martel gathers his forces. The armies collide near Tours. For hours, heavily armed Frankish infantry withstand repeated attacks. Then the tide turns. The invading force retreats. The battle becomes one of history's most debated turning points. Many historians argue it helped preserve the development of Christian Europe. Others caution against exaggerating its significance. Yet there is little doubt that the outcome influenced the future political and cultural direction of Western Europe. The world remains balanced between competing civilizations. History once again hangs by a thread, and soon a conqueror from Macedonia will demonstrate how quickly the world can change. 331 BC. Alexander the Great faces the mighty Persian Empire. His opponent is King Darius III. Persia outnumbers him. The odds seem overwhelming. Yet Alexander possesses something extraordinary. Brilliant strategy, unshakable confidence, and soldiers fiercely loyal to him. At Gaugamela, he launches one of history's most audacious attacks. Spotting an opening, Alexander drives directly toward Darius. The Persian king flees. The empire collapses. Within a few years, Alexander controls one of the largest empires in history. Greek culture spreads across continents. Ideas mix. Knowledge travels. Trade networks expand. The Hellenistic world is born. The consequences influence science, philosophy, language, architecture, and culture for centuries. A single battle transforms 3 continents. But centuries later, another battle would change the fate of an entire empire forever. For over 1,000 years, Constantinople has stood as one of the world's greatest cities. Its walls have repelled countless enemies. Its wealth and influence are legendary. Now a young Ottoman ruler named Mehmed II arrives. His cannons are unlike anything the defenders have faced before. The siege lasts weeks. Day after day, the ancient walls tremble. Then comes the final assault. The city falls. The Byzantine Empire ends. The Ottoman Empire rises as a major world power. Trade routes shift. European powers seek new paths to Asia. Many historians connect these developments to the coming age of exploration. One city falls, the world changes, and soon explorers will cross oceans. Empires will expand. Entire continents will be transformed. Europe has spent years at war. One man stands at the center of it all, Napoleon Bonaparte. After escaping exile, he returns for one final campaign. The stakes could not be higher. At Waterloo, armies converge. Rain-soaked fields become killing grounds. The fighting is brutal. Hour after hour, victory hangs in the balance. Then Prussian reinforcements arrive. Napoleon's dream collapses. His defeat reshapes Europe. The political order established afterward influences international relations for generations. The age of Napoleon ends. A new era begins. Yet the bloodiest century in human history is still ahead, and its most decisive battle will determine the fate of the modern world. The Second World War rages. Nazi Germany appears unstoppable. Then comes Stalingrad, a city transformed into a nightmare. Factories become fortresses. Apartment buildings become battlefields. Every street becomes contested ground. Winter arrives. Supplies dwindle. Soldiers fight among ruins. Months pass. The suffering becomes unimaginable. Finally, German forces are surrounded. Then they surrender. The victory changes everything. The German advance is broken. Momentum shifts. The road toward Berlin begins. Many historians consider Stalingrad one of the most important battles ever fought, because had it ended differently, the history of Europe, and perhaps the world, might have been dramatically altered. But one final battle remains. A battle fought not with swords or muskets, not even primarily with armies. A battle fought with technology. A battle that opened the modern age. June 1942, only months after Pearl Harbor, the Pacific hangs in the balance. Japan appears dominant. Its navy controls vast stretches of ocean. Then American codebreakers uncover critical intelligence. Near a tiny Pacific island called Midway, a decisive confrontation begins. Aircraft launch across hundreds of miles. Pilots search endless ocean horizons. Then everything changes within minutes. Japanese carriers are caught vulnerable. Bombs strike. Fires erupt. Several carriers are destroyed. The balance of power shifts. Japan never fully recovers its offensive strength. The Pacific War enters a new phase. Modern warfare has entered an age where information, intelligence, and technology can be as decisive as armies. The future is arriving, and history enters a new chapter. Across deserts, mountains, rivers, oceans, and ruined cities, humanity has repeatedly arrived at crossroads. Again and again, history balanced on moments that seemed small at the time. A narrow pass in Greece, a dusty field in Italy, a bridge outside Rome, a city wall, a frozen street, a tiny island in the Pacific. Each battle lasted only days, hours, or weeks. Yet their consequences lasted centuries. The modern world was not inevitable. It was shaped by decisions, sacrifices, victories, defeats, and countless individuals who never knew the impact they would have on future generations. And perhaps that is history's greatest lesson. The future is never guaranteed. It is built one moment at a time, one choice at a time, one turning point at a time. And somewhere in the centuries ahead, people may look back on our own era and wonder which moments changed everything. If you enjoyed this journey through history, consider subscribing for more cinematic explorations of the past. And let us know in the comments, which historical battle do you think changed the world the most? And what location should we explore next? Because history never truly disappears. It only waits to be rediscovered.